What's up everyone, Emerald here from Emerald's Daily Carry, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Civic Access Pouch 0.5 liter from Evergoods. In this video, we'll tell you everything that you need to know about these pouches so that you can decide if it's right for you. We've been using this pouch in our everyday carry and travel setups for over half a year now, and I think it's time to pull back the curtain on why this pouch made it to our top gear of 2024 list. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel, we like to talk about backpacks, sling bags, and everything in between because we believe that everything in life is between you and the perfect bag. But before we dive in, you know the drill. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you smash that notification bell so that you don't miss any more Emerald's Daily Carry goodness. And without further ado, you better buckle up because this one's gonna be a long one. For those of you who aren't familiar with Evergoods, Evergoods is a Bozeman, Montana-based company known for its crossover equipment, bags that expertly blend outdoor ruggedness with urban functionality. They're all about durable, high-performance gear built for active daily life, focusing on in-house design and premium materials. Expect thoughtful organization, ergonomic comfort, and exceptional quality in their range of backpacks, travel bags, and slings. The Civic Access Pouch 0.5 originally released in April of 2024 for $42 and has been available in a number of colors like Solution Black, Oud Green, Burnt Orange, Hot Orange, Coyote Brown, X-Pac, and Yellow. We'll run our infamous bean test to measure the actual volume of the bag. If you're not familiar with our bean test, check out this video right over here for a full breakdown on how it works. The listed weight is 2.9 ounces and the X-Pac version is coming in a little bit heavier at 3.15 ounces. The listed dimensions of the pouch is 8.5 inches wide, 2.8 inches long, and 2.5 inches tall. The length of the internal zipper is 7 inches, and the main cavity can hold up to a 7.5 inch straight line and a 8.5 inch diagonal line. And so for our actual weight measurement, I got a little scale here. We're getting 0.2 pounds. For dimensions, 9 inches long, 2.5, almost 3 inches wide, and about the same measurement here on the side. This has a little bit of padding in it, but it's still a pretty flexible design, so your dimension measurements might be slightly different. Now it's time to measure the actual volume of the pouch. Just trying to keep things a little bit simpler, I'm gonna fill out these two side pockets first with beans and then fill out the main compartment with the rest of the beans. We filled out the pouch with beans. It was actually slightly difficult to get it in and around this top section. And as you can see, the stitching from the zipper is a little bit stretched out. So I would say this is overstuffed. Normally you don't want to pack out stuff in this way because you can actually start to break things. But as far as the actual volume goes, I filled up my little container up to 1 liter of beans, and we have about 9-10 ounces of beans left, which means that this is actually more than half a liter of beans. Again, it's overstuffed, so I think a half a liter as far as the actual volume goes is pretty accurate. I found that with this form factor, I can easily fit it in most backpacks on either the side wall or at the top of the main compartment. If you haven't stuffed it to the brim, I've also fit this in the yoke pocket on Evergoods bags, and you can also fit this in most water bottle pockets or some larger quick access front pockets. All right, let's talk about what these bags are actually made out of, because for us bag enthusiasts, that's about half the fun, right? First up, material-wise, for the Solution Dyed Black, Evergood uses a 420D nylon 6 with a PU coating. Think of it as a stealth mode version of the bag. Now for all of the other colors, it's a 420D high tenacity nylon 6.6 with a PU coating. So slightly different, but still tough enough to survive your wildest adventures or just your daily commute. I have noticed that on this yellow version specifically, because they're using black zippers on this yellow, you can actually see the black lining of the zipper coming through this yellow fabric. And when I first got this, I thought it was a scuff mark, so I scrubbed the crap out of this thing. Then I realized that it was just the zipper lining on the inside. So for this specific colorway, whatever they're using for this yellow is just not a thick enough fabric, because as you can see, it's definitely coming through, versus here on the orange, not as bad, and here on the X-Pac, you can't even tell. On the X-Pac version, the exterior material is a black X42 fabric, which also uses a 420D nylon. This one's definitely for the folks who like their bags extra crispy and tactical looking. Moving on to the inside, the interior lining of all of the variants is a 210D high tenacity nylon 6.6 with a PU coating. You'll get different internal colors depending on the bag's exterior, but most of them are gonna come in this standard gray colorway. However, if you get the X-Pac version, you're gonna get Coyote Brown lining instead. Personally, I do think this adds a little bit of an oomph factor into the interior and it helps for visibility. And of course, we can't forget the zippers, because if it's not YKK, is it even considered a zipper? The main compartment zipper on the X-Pac version is a number 8 reverse coil zipper with a DWR finish for extra waterproofness. So if you're caught in a sudden downpour, your snacks might stand a fighting chance. No promises on your dignity though. And number 5 reverse coil zippers are used for the 2 internal pockets. These are perfect for stashing your secret candy supply. Finally, as for the mesh, Evergoods uses the same material that they do in all of their bags and pouches, this stiff silicone finished mesh. It's like the superhero of meshes, durable and always holds its shape. Diving into the features that make this pouch a real standout, starting off with just the overall shape and size. It's almost pocketable, it holds really well in the hand, and has this really nice kind of cylindrical, triangular design with rounded corners. It just feels really good to hold, you know? But the main star of the show, the feature that truly elevates this pouch, is that it completely opens flat. That instantly turns it into a super great workstation buddy. Seriously, it comes into like a little tray like this that kind of holds everything together while giving you fantastic access to all of your gear. It's also fully padded, so if you're carrying any fragile items inside, like your fancy camera lens or ridiculously expensive tiny gadget, you get that added layer of protection. And if you spring for the X-Pac variant, you also get a little bit more waterproofness, because nobody wants soggy electronics, right? Now the patterning on this thing is really clever. It gives you a perfect combination of a small footprint when you're carrying it, so it doesn't hog all the space inside of your bag, but it also has a super wide, expansive opening when you're trying to access your gear. Inside, you're gonna find 2 internal zippered pockets. One is opaque and the other is mesh. This is super awesome for internal organization if you want to separate your things, like keeping your charging cables away from your snacks. What's even better is that they fully collapse on the sides when not in use, which is just great for maximizing space. And then for an extra little detail, these zippers actually open on opposite sides of each other, which means for smooth brains like mine, it doesn't really take much effort to know which pocket you're opening. Finally, we have a little grab tab on the outside. This is super handy to help you pull this thing out of your bag with ease. You can also use this to clip it on the outside of bags or even inside if you have MOLLE straps. Versatility for the win. Now the only thing that I have to mention here is that these zippers, they are metal, which is great, but they are very loud, as you can see. It kind of feels like I have a Macarena in my hand. So just keep that in mind. I'm a little like noise prone as far as this kind of annoys me slightly, maybe more than slightly. So if you have that little tick as well, this might bother you just a little bit. Okay, now for the fun part, loading this thing up. I know some of you might be interested in this pouch, but honestly have no clue what you could possibly fit inside. So I'm gonna show you 2 loadouts to give you some inspiration. Just a quick note before we get started, remember that this is still only a half-liter pouch, so if your loadout is, shall we say, extensive, don't think that this is gonna be some sort of Mary Poppins magic bag happening here. You are still gonna have to have a pretty dialed-in kit to make this pouch work. But I promise you, if you can actually fit all of your essentials inside this tiny pouch, it's gonna feel super amazing not having to lug around a larger pouch. It means your main bag is gonna be lighter and you can maybe even squeeze everything into a smaller bag too, which, let's be honest, is a huge plus, especially nowadays with airline restrictions becoming more strict. Nobody wants to pay those extra baggage fees. All right, so starting out with my toiletry kit, I have pretty much everything that I would possibly need to just go somewhere. So I have a toothbrush, got some lip balm, I have some toothpaste, some extra shampoo. I have all of my skincare routine in these 4 bottles, deodorant, contact lenses, tweezers, nail clippers, and hair clips. So that is kind of a lot of stuff to fit into a half-liter pouch. Now you're gonna have to kind of finagle stuff a little bit, but I personally love Tetrising. It's kind of like my secondary hobby, so it doesn't really bother me that much. I prefer space savings and like the satisfaction of trying to get all of this stuff into a tinier space, that I enjoy that process. I'm able to travel almost indefinitely with this stuff that I have here, so that to me is more of a win than maybe bringing a little bit more. And then if there's anything that I haven't packed inside of here, I can always just buy it at my destination. Next up is my tech kit. And this is, again, something that basically everything that I would need in order to travel indefinitely. So for this kit, I actually don't use the 2 side compartments at all. I just put everything in the main body of the bag. So I have 2 USB-C cords, 1 Thunderbolt cord, and 1 just regular USB-C to USB-C. I have an SSD with its own little baby cable, a GAN charger, and a 3-in-1 power bank. So With this setup, this can basically charge my computer, charge my camera, charge my phone, if I have an iPad, if I have an Apple Watch, and I have all of my work on this SSD. So this is essentially everything that I would ever need in order to, yeah, travel indefinitely, and it all fits into a 1/2 liter pouch. I love that it's padded, so I can just kind of like chuck this a little bit and I don't have to worry about like electronics and all that kind of stuff getting messed up. So we're not gonna do a formal scoring for this one because honestly, it seems a bit ridiculous, even for me, to rate such a small product like this. But if you must know, and I know some of you are just out there and you love numbers, I did run it anyway, and the CAP 0.5 liter scored an 86.88, which is a solid B. We've already raved on about this pouch in one of our top items of 2024, and we've gone into great detail already on exactly why we love it so much. But if you're looking for who we think this pouch is for, I think if you fall into one of these 3 categories, you should consider the CAP 0.5 as a small pouch contender. Number 1, if you're the hyper-organized traveler or everyday carry enthusiast, you love efficiency and meticulous organization, you appreciate the bag's ability to open really flat as a workstation buddy, and you love internal organization zippered pockets that fully collapse, you're looking to maximize space in the main bag and avoid clutter, you have a super dialed in and compact kit, especially with airline restrictions in mind. Number 2 is the quality conscious gearhead. You value premium materials, thoughtful design, and durability. You understand the significance of what 420D nylon and X-Pac fabric, PU coating, and YKK zippers all mean. You're willing to invest in a little bit of a higher price point because you appreciate that added layer of protection for the fragile good that you're gonna put inside of it. You recognize and seek out superior craftsmanship. And the third person that we think this is a great pouch for is the practical minimalist. You're a person who seeks to carry only the essentials without lugging around excess bulk. You're drawn to that almost pocketable size and the promise of a lighter main bag. While you understand that it's only 1/2 liter and not a Mary Poppins bag, you're definitely adept at curating must-have items and will appreciate the compact efficiency that this pouch will offer. Now, some of the drawbacks do come down to Evergoods standard, but still a little bit lacking 30-day return policy. And that higher price point means that you're probably not gonna be scoring a great value buy purely based on cost. But if this is any indication of just how much I love this bag, I actually bought 3 of them. And yes, they've consistently in my rotation as some of the pack outs that you've seen throughout this video. So you know I'm putting my money where my mouth is. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this one. If you liked this content and you wanna help support the channel, there are some affiliate links in the video description to all the products that we talked about today. I get a small commission at no cost to you, but if that's not your vibe, there's always liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with a friend. Helps give out good vibes to the YouTube algorithm so that more people can see this video. My name is Emerald from Emerald's Daily Carry. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.